Build. Duck. Out. Out. August 19th, 1960. It's a day in the Soviet Union.
The second spacecraft was successfully launched. His cockpit, equipped with everything necessary for the future flight of man, contained world-renowned dogs, Arrow and Belka. The launch vehicle took the ship to its intended orbit, but the man did not lose power. The ship landed safely in the designated area. The launch-in returned to the ground of the spaceship of the satellite created by the genius of the Soviet people was a harbinger of human flight.
And cosmonauts learn daily, hard, fully aware of the great responsibility to Rodina.
The chief designer asks difficult questions. But Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin knows the spaceship well. Herman Stepanovich Titov. And he answered all the questions correctly.
Занятия по изучению носимого аварийного запаса.
Emergency Reserve Studies.
Здесь есть все необходимое для жизни и работы космонавта, где бы он ни приземлился. Радиостанции, надувная лодка.
There's everything that's needed for the life and work of the astronaut wherever it lands. The inflatable boat radio station.
Консервы, галеты,
A tourist stove.
шоколад, компас, фонарик, одежда. Медицинская аптечка.
Canned gallet, chocolate, compass, flashlight, clothes.
И, наконец, кислородный прибор,
Medical first aid kit.
космонавта кислородом и бюро. Заканчивалась разработка космического.
And finally, an oxygen device that provides the cosmonaut with oxygen. The development of the spaceship East 1 was underway.
Последняя проверка расчетов.
Work drawings are being released, and the final calculation check is underway. The next stage has arrived. The work of workers, engineers, and technicians translates into the real bays and blocks of a spaceship.
Космический корабль «Восток-1» состоит из двух основных частей. Спускаемого аппарата, в кабине которого...
The spaceship East 1 consists of two main parts of the launch vehicle, the cab of which is fitted with the pilot's chair.
И тормозная двигательная установка. Кабина
And the
космонавта.
instrument room where the equipment, the power supply, and the braking engine unit are located. Cosmonaut's cab.
Кораблем служит.
It provides the necessary facilities for work and recreation. The pilot Yapos' remote control is used to control the ship Yapos' main systems, and the globe Yapos' instrument panel is used to monitor the operation of the pilot Yapos' main systems. The instrument board is a television camera and one of the three illuminators with an optical orientation device controlled by a curtain and a light filter. Now you can see the curtain and the light filter opening. Yes. And this is the other camera. To the right of the pilot, a container containing the food of the broadcaster, the radio and the ship's orientation control handle. Normal atmospheric conditions and air composition in the cab are created by a conditioning system. Heated carbon dioxide gas and vapors of water into the air are fed by a fan through high-activity chemical compounds that absorb carbon dioxide, water, and oxygen. If oxygen is emitted in excess, the pressure in cab C is increased. The telephone valve closes the air path directly into the blocks by first passing it through the dryer. Oxygen emissions are decreasing. When the pressure drops, the telephone valve is returned to its initial position. For example, the cosmonaut's cockpit has normal pressure, oxygen concentration, and carbon dioxide. The cosmonaut in the suit requires continuous ventilation at the moment of embarkation into the ship. It's run by the air of the cab through the main fan of the chair. A backup fan has been installed for reliability. The pneumatic, electrical systems of the suit are connected to the chair by a special breakup. The ventilation device of the suit distributes the air evenly over the surface of the cosmonaut. Overheating and moisture are provided, and air is returned to the cab through the pressure regulator. After separation of the apparatus from the instrument compartment and supply of oxygen to the suit, the oxygen ventilation device placed in the chair shall be used. In case the cab is sealed, the oxygen supply and ventilation of the suit shall be carried out by the emergency system. In the cylinders placed in the instrument compartment, the medical air supply and the oxygen of the system. She gets into work when the cockpit pressure drops. The emergency system is located on the top cone of the instrument compartment. With a slight depressurization, the glass only enters the air that comes out of it and keeps the pressure set in the cockpit. When the cab is significantly depressurized, the oxygen flow into the suit helmet is automatically switched on. When the cosmonaut is released on the parachute, the oxygen into the suit comes from a cylinder located in the so-called emergency vest. The chair shall be pushed out of the cab by a catapult unit and, if a catapult is necessary, 2 additional powder rocket accelerators shall be used at the launch or at the initial extraction site. Here's a parachute of the landing machine. And this, the brake and the main parachute of the chair. The cosmonaut can be lowered both in the cockpit of the ship and in parachutes. The chair and this pirate is a cannon designed to introduce the main parachute.
Корабль принимает заданное положение в пространстве с помощью системы ориентации.
Before embarking on the ground, the ship accepts the intended position in the space by means of a guidance system.
Расположенный на шпангоуте приборного отсека.
The sensitive elements are optical sensors located on the instrument compartment pins, and the gyroscopic sensors are in front of the control unit. The signals from these sensors are converted into an electronic command block for the executive authorities. They consist of an electrician, a pneumo valve, and jet nozzles. The managers on the roll. There, the graph and ginger are created at the end of a compressed gas that has been stored under the cylinder.
Готовился корабль, готовились и будущие космонавты. В полете они встретятся с воздействием больших перегрузок.
The ship was preparing. The future astronauts were also preparing. When they fly, they will face the effects of heavy overloads, a personal state of weightlessness, and considerable emotional stress. All of this imposes special requirements on the state of health of the astronaut, his mental qualities, and the level of physical preparation. Cosmonaut training was combined with specially designed gymnastic exercises and rotating exercises. That's it. It's a case. On the forehead of the kingy. Yes. Later. Yes. Rolling table. Nope. Well. Lab treadmills under continuous medical supervision. I remember.
В макете кабины и на специальном тренажере изучалось оборудование и аппаратура. Вырабатывались навыки.
A cockpit macro and a special trainer studied equipment and developed long-term skills in a spaceship.
В случае необходимости космонавт имеет возможность вручную ориентировать корабль и осуществлять его посадку.
If necessary, the astronaut is able to direct the ship manually and land it.
И кнопка запуска тормозной двигательной установки.
For this purpose, the cab has a ship Yapos S orientation control handle and a brake engine start button.
Определялась переносимость космонавтам больших перегрузок.
In the centrifuge tests, the transportability of large-scale transshipments was determined by the cosmonaut, their effects on the course of basic physiological functions, and the increased resistance of the body to overload have been studied. Hot. Barcode. Hot.
Служили испытания на быстро разгоняющихся ракетных тележках, создающих условия воздействия.
The same targets in Bucharest are also being tested for high-speed rocket carts that create conditions for impact overloads. Catapult conditions have also been worked out on a vertical tent.
Кресло катапультировано. Отрабатывается автоматика аварийного спасения космонавта.
The catapult chair is working on a spaceman's emergency rescue machine. Okay.
Катапультируется кресло с космонавтом.
Attention! Catapult the chair with the astronaut.
Под космонавтом водная поверхность.
From cosmonaut, the water surface.
Расстроится надувной ворот, есть резиновая лодка, средства радиосвязи,
And it's not scary. It's gone upset the inflatable city.
There's a rubber boat, radios, divers, and alarms.
It will be.
Перед полетом человека в космос производились запуски космических кораблей на орбиту спутника Земли.
Before a man goes into space,
в заданном районе.
spaceships were launched into the orbit of an Earth satellite and subsequently landed in a designated area.
И наземного комплекса.
These were test launches for the final processing of all the ship's systems and the ground complex.
Нет, это не несчастный случай. Это так называемый антропометрический манекен с разнообразной аппаратурой.
No, it wasn't an accident. It's a so-called anthropometric dummy with a variety of equipment.
Он также в полном порядке, как и лодка, подготовленная к плаванию.
And this is the emergency reserve. He's as good as the boat, ready to swim. These aren't dummies.
Звездочка.
Welcome to Star. Well,
Корабль побывал в космосе. Его нужно сохранить, проверить, а может быть использовать вторично.
the ship was in space.
It needs to be preserved, checked, or it could be used secondarily.
Комплексное испытание космического корабля «Восток-1». Здесь проверяет все его системы.
Integrated test of the spaceship East 1.
Безотказно. Даже
This is where he checks all his systems.
недопустимо.
They have to work exactly and without fail. We haven't even made the slightest mistake.
А вот и те, кому предназначено штурмовать бездну Вселенной. Здесь им расскажут много интересного.
Here are those who are meant to storm the abyss of the universe.
Это не истребитель, и габариты не те.
They'll be told a lot of interesting things here.
Ракета-носитель
Yeah, it's not a
также
fighter,
как
and the
космический
dimensions
корабль.
aren't the same, and it's
Чудесное
faster.
творение конструкторской мысли.
The launcher, as well as the spaceship, the wonderful creation now lies still, but it is worth breathing life into it.
И она станет грозной и неумолимой в борьбе с силами земного
And it will become formidable and inexorable in the struggle against the forces of gravity and speech, both of it and of space.
20 миллионов лошадиных сил. 28 тысяч километров в час.
20 million horsepower flying, 28,000 kilometers an hour.
И необыкновенно. Все надо не только посмотреть, но и знать. Знать в совершенстве.
Everything here is new and extraordinary.
Космонавты учатся ежедневно.
You don't just have to look, you know, you're perfect.
And cosmonauts learn daily, hard, fully aware of the great responsibility to roadnet.
The chief designer asks difficult questions. But Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin knows the spaceship well.
А Герман Степанович Титов? И он правильно ответил на все заданные ему вопросы.
Herman Stepanovich Titov. And he answered all the questions correctly.
Занятия по изучению носимого аварийного запаса.
Emergency Reserve Studies.
Здесь есть все необходимое для жизни и работы космонавта, где бы он ни приземлился. Радиостанция.
There's everything that's needed for the life and work of the astronaut wherever it lands. The inflatable boat radio station. A tourist stove.
Галеты, шоколад, компас, фонарик, одежда.
Canned gallet, chocolate, compass, flashlight, clothes.
И, наконец,
Medical first aid kit.
обеспечивающий питание космонавта кислородом при спуске на
And finally, an oxygen device that provides the cosmonaut with oxygen.
Последние приготовления.
On the way down on the parachute.
Продукты питания укладываются в контейнер.
Latest preparations. The food is placed in a container.
Консервированные продукты помещены в тубы.
Blah. High-calorie canned products are placed in tubes.
Принимать пищу в состоянии невесомости.
Of these, the astronaut will take food in a state of weightlessness.
Заполняются питьевой водой бачки. Проверяется работа мундштука, обеспечивающего
Filled with drinking water from barrels. Checks out the work of the suit that provides water for the flight.
Последние тренировочные посадки космонавта в кабину корабля.
The last training landings of the astronaut's cabin.
Уже близок день полета, когда эти операции нужно будет проделать быстро и
The day of the flight is near when these operations will need to be performed quickly and with confidence.
Комплексные испытания космического корабля завершены, и он подается на сборку с последней
Comprehensive
ступенью
spacecraft tests have been carried out.
Вот он, первенец
And it's being
советской
delivered to the
астронавтики,
last stage of the missile.
корабль-спутник «Восток-1». В нем воплощен труд и творческий гений наших рабочих, ученых,
It
конструкторов.
embodies the work and creative genius of our working scientists, designers, engineers, and technicians.
Его красивая, несколько своеобразная форма предопределена тем большим разнообразием задач, которые он
Its
должен
beautiful,
выполнить,
somewhat peculiar form is determined by the great variety of tasks that it must carry out in such an unusual flight.
Космический корабль закрывается головным обтекателем.
The final
Вместе
stages
с
of
последней
assembly.
ступенью устанавливается
The
на
spaceship
центральном
opens with a
блоке
head duct.
ракетоносителя.
And with the
Сборка
last step,
завершена.
it is installed on the central unit of the launch vehicle. The assembly is complete.
В городке полигона, на берегу реки, В дружеской обстановке обсуждались волнующие вопросы.
The town of the rendezvous and the river bank. In a friendly atmosphere, the questions of the upcoming flight were discussed as well. Okay.
Ракета-носитель с космическим кораблем транспортируется на стартовую площадку.
A launch vehicle with a spaceship is being transported for a little more than 3 years since the launch site was launched by a rocket.
Ракета, которая впервые преодолела силу земного тяготения и вывела
Which for the first time out of Earth's gravity and brought into orbit the world's first artificial Earth satellite.
доставила в космическое пространство живое существо Лайку. Третий искусственный спутник.
Another missile brought into outer space the living creature of Laika.
Один подвиг следовал за другим.
The third artificial satellite became the first extraterrestrial laboratory. One feat followed the other. An artificial planet of the solar system has been created. Let's get the Soviets to the moon and take a picture of the moon's invisible side of the Earth. In the direction of Venus, an automatic interplanetary station was set in motion and the first satellite spacecraft were finally approved. For the first time, the tasks have been accomplished empty as I note, and ships from orbit to Earth.
Yes.
И вот настал долгожданный день, когда по этому же пути к месту старта доставлена ракета.
And it was a long-awaited day when a rocket was delivered along the way to the launch site that would launch a spaceship into orbit. With a man on board. Hot. Hot.
10 апреля 1961 года. Заседание Государственной комиссии.
April 10th, the 1961st year. Meeting of the State Commission.
On the first question, I give the floor to the comrade of the Queen.
Comrades, according to the intended program, the preparation of a multi-stage launch vehicle and an East satellite ship is now nearing completion. Preparatory LUD and all prior training
Shows that we can solve the issue of the first human space flight on the Sputnik ship today.
Everything sitting. Do you have a suggestion, comrades? If no one has any, make the following decision. To take note of the announcement by Comrade Queen that the preparation of the ship, satellite and launch vehicle East is proceeding successfully in accordance with any such comments. There is no addendum to this proposal. Accepted. On the second question, you can imagine combined singing, playing, to which the commission is present. The astronauts are Senior Lieutenant Gagarin Yuri Alexievich, only Lieutenant Titov Herman Stepanovi, Captain Nelub Grigory Grigorjevic, Captain Nikola Bendrian Grigorjevic, Captain Bolery Fyodorovi, and Captain Popovi Pavel. Drafts completely out of training, and they're not gonna run up training. The equipment has spent more than 50 regiments and commemorative days, then a perfect space flight, then. There's a first project to talk. No questions. All 6 astronauts are ready to go to outer space. Touch and single one out. Such a decision had to be made by the command. We recommend that Senior Lieutenant Gagarin Yuri Alexeyevich be the first to be appointed to carry out the space mission, and that the Pope and the Forehead appointed of Herman Stepanovich. Do you have any questions for Comrade Kaminin? No question. Are there any other suggestions, Comrade? There are no other suggestions. There's a proposal then to make the following decision to approve for the first space flight. The ship of the East satellite is a pilot of the cosmonaut of Senior Lieutenant Gagarin Yuri Alexeyevich. As a reserve pilot of the Senior Lieutenant, Comrade Titov Herman Stepanovi. There are other suggestions. Nope. Then, comrades, allow me to consider this proposal as a cabinet proposal. Are there any comrades who would like to speak? Comrade Queen has the floor.
Dear comrades, Yuri Alexeyevich, Herman Stepanovich. Yes, I would like to congratulate you on the great honor that has come to you on behalf of our people, our own Communist Party.
To make the first flight. The rule of successful flights, successful landings on our land. And for our records, our flights, our ships to go further and higher into outer space. I welcome you and wish you success. Think about it, don't do it. Trusting our Soviet government on this communist state is a rare nation. The fact that I'm gonna justify the task I'm entrusted with. I'm taking the first road. And if they meet you on the way, how are communists overcoming?
Товарищ Руднев предоставляет слово главнокомандующему ракетными войсками, маршалу Советского Союза.
Comrade Rudin gives the floor to the Commander-in-Chief of the Missile Forces, Marshal of the Soviet Union of Moskalenko. Comrades, you and I are witnessing the greatest event in human history. The opening of a new era is the flight of the first man into space. All of us, we are filled with a sense of legitimate pride that this first man is our Soviet man, the first pilot, the astronaut, Comrade Gagarin.
Yuri Alexeyevich.
This has become possible, comrades, thanks only to the high technical progress of our socialist homeland, which has reached our people under the leadership of the wise Communist Party and the Soviet government. At the end of his statement, Kirill Semyonovich wished Comrade Gagarin proudly to carry the banner of the country of the Soviets across the continents of our planet, and safely return to the embrace of the heroic Soviet people. Comrades, we are confident that each of the 6 astronaut pilots will live up to the high trust placed in him by the Central Committee of our party and the Soviet government, and personally, Comrade Nikita Sergeyevich Khrushchev. All the people, the Soviet people and the world will be vigilant to the flight of the first man in outer space. We wish the first pilot of the cosmonaut a good journey and a happy landing.
За день до пуска пилот-космонавт Юрий Алексеевич Гагарин прибыл на стартовую площадку.
The day before the launch, the astronaut's pilot Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin arrived at the launch site for the testers and was handed over to him by a pre-flight. Launch vehicle, a carrier with at the time at the Computer Coordinating Center. This is the final preparations for the flight of the spaceship East alone. A spaceship's flight track was placed on the geographic maps. It is predestined here when and over which points the Soviet cosmonaut will fly. The ship will be monitored by numerous ground stations located in various parts of the Soviet Union. Atlantic and Pacific. Ships equipped with radiometric equipment have come to a strict settlement point. All means of communication are ready for work. And here's the final preparations. He's recording electrocardiograms. It's okay, there's no deviation. She's the starting cape of the heels. At this time, the launch vehicle is heat. You.
И не забыть удостоверение пилота-космонавта.
And don't forget cosmonauts pilot's id.
Скафандр одет. Радиостанция в кармане.
He's wearing a suit.
А он улыбается.
The radio station's in his pocket. He's smiling. What a deep belief in success. Wear it. A million.
Yes.
Didn't blink. What the hell?
Я испытываю большое счастье при мысли быть первым в космосе. Вступить один на один в небывалый поединок.
I have great happiness in the thought of being the first in space to join one-on-one in an unprecedented battle with nature. Is it possible to dream more? The first to do what generations dreamed of was to pave the way for mankind. Outer space.
Вот и стартовая площадка. До свидания, дорогие друзья.
There's the launch site. Goodbye, dear friends, nightmares.
До свидания, Сергей Павлович Королёв.
Goodbye, Sergei Pavlovich Queen.
Кирилл Семенович Москаленко.
Konstantin Nikolajevich Rudday. Cyril Semyonovich Moskalenko. Yes.
До скорой встречи.
Yeah, a couple of meetings.
Chipped. We are.
There you go. No, I don't. From me. At the same time. Well, for example. Yes. Pasha.
Страшно? Нет. Корабль не подведет. В нем
Cash
сердце и
him.
разум его создателей.
Nope.
Героический труд советских людей.
The ship won't fail.
Людям коммунизма
Is he the heart and the
мне
creators?
хочется посвятить этот
The heroic
первый
work of the Soviet
космический
people to them, the people of communism. I want to dedicate this first space flight. Yes.
Кедр, я Заря-1. Как слышите меня? Буду вам транслировать команды. Прием.
Cedar, I am alone in the morning, as you can hear me, to broadcast the talent of the reception.
Кедр, я Заря-1. Внимание, минутная готовность.
Wait a
Минутная
minute,
готовность.
come on. Cedar, I borrowed one. Attention, 1 minute, 1 minute. Come on. Boy. About that.
Продувка.
Me. It's hard about you, Arcady. Walking, blowing for a long time, and that's just the key for Darren. It's the upper hand. I'm not alone. Ignition. Preliminary.
Желаю вам доброго полета!
I wish you a good flight.
12 апреля 1961 года. Люди,
12.
запомните это
1961st.
Земля.
Well, day.
Творение человека.
Remember this day.
Творец идей быстрокрылой.
The earth is your creation, man, and he's the creator of ideas.
И этот день его
Quick and red like a special dawn in a twinkle.
иным мирам открыла.
This shadow, its triumph, must be the winning path.
На земле.
And you revealed it to the worlds.
The plan is the end and the messenger of peace and the earth.
They're happy to see the painting. Let's go, take a walk. Yeah, well, kid. It's junk.
Я Заря-1. 3.
I'm not me.
Как чувствуете себя? Прием!
Yeah, it's nothing. Yes.
Yes?
Я Заря-1.
I can't take it.
70. Прием!
You're having another party. Hawkedra is a village film, and you feel like you're renting in Omaha.
Кедр. Я Заря-1. Прошло разделение. Как чувствуете себя? Прием!
Самочувствие хорошее, настроение бодрое, продолжение полет, все идет хорошо, машина работает нормально, прием.
Кедр. Я Заря-1. Желаю вам доброго полета и благополучного возвращения на нашу родную землю. Я
Us.
Заря-1. Прием!
Cedar, I wish you a good flight and a safe return to your homeland. I say one move.
Кедр, я Заря, все идет хорошо, как слышите, как самочувствие, я Заря, прием.
Okay.
Самочувствие отлично, полет продолжается хорошо.
November.
Видимость хорошая, разлететь видеть можно все.
Hot later.
Некоторое пространство покрыто путевой облачностью.
But Dad,
Космический корабль весом
What?
4725 килограммов вышел на заданную орбиту.
A spaceship weighing 4,725 kilos entered the intended orbit.
Самочувствие отличное, чувство невесомости
It's on.
благоприятно.
In weightlessness.
Чувство невесомости идет.
Yeah.
Все плавает, вся красота.
A briefcase. Repeat.
Сначала
Yes.
состояние было необычным, но вскоре я привык к нему, освоился. И
At
продолжал
first, this
выполнять.
condition was unusual,
Восток мчался над
but soon I got used to it, learned, and continued to perform the flight program. The East was racing over the realms of the homeland. I had a hot son's love for her.
Радиосвязь с Землей, принимал команды, передавал сообщения о работе всех систем корабля.
I continued radio communications with the Earth, took orders, transmitted a message about the work of all the ship's systems.
партии.
Every word of the earth felt the support of the people of the home. Party. The ship continued its flight. Ground and sea radios and telemetric stations received information from aboard the ship. Flying around Cape Horn, I gave the flight a message, and it's okay, feeling good. The onboard equipment is working properly. At 9 o'clock, 51 minutes, the automatic orientation system was activated. I could feel the jet nozzles starting to calm the ship's disorderly rotation. The final phase of the flight was underway. After the east came out of the shadows, the orientation system searched for the sun and directed the ship. 10 hours, 25 minutes. The brake propulsion system has been switched on. What's it gonna be? And the launch vehicles started moving from orbit to ballistic descent. Yes. Full. The mode. Oh, the outer shell was quick to keep up. Storms that cover for the illuminators. I've seen the flames blaze around the ship, but there were only 20 degrees of heat in the cockpit. Even though I was in a ball of this fire that was set down. Fire.
Vanya.
Catapulting. The world Yapos has Soviet first space flight with an astronaut aboard a ship, the East Satellite. One landed in a designated area of 10 hours and 55 minutes Moscow time. It's not just luck, it's not just a happy case, it's a logical conclusion to the titanic work of Soviet science. If that's the result of the bravery of Soviet scientists, it's a feat, praise to them who have done this alloy feat. Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin. Here's the parachute he landed on, and there he is. A dear, loving man. His name is already legendary. With a smile, he left the Earth and ran into the abyss of the universe. With the same smile, he returned, bringing mankind the keys to space. I'm happy to inform you that the first space flight has been successfully completed. Thank you, Nikita Sergeyevich. Again, thank you, your own Communist Party, to the Soviet government for the great trust you have placed in me. And I assure you that I am ready to continue to carry out any task of the Soviet homeland. There are exciting new prospects ahead. All new and new Soviets will travel on uncharted routes to space, study it.